Well, good morning and good day. This is Grandpa Jim from Grandpa Jim's Garden Tips. Now it's mid-March right now, and we're in Central Ohio, so we're getting closer and closer to planting season. And you all know from other videos I've done my love for heirloom tomatoes. I also love all different types of potatoes, the different colors and the different textures. Those are kind of an obsession with me. The other kind of vegetable that I just love to grow is lettuce. Now you say lettuce, are we talking about the iceberg lettuce that are the big hard round ones that are sitting in the grocery store? They have very little flavor. They're crunchy, but they have very little flavor. They also have very little nutrition to them. There is a tremendous amount of different types of lettuce that you can grow. And we're going to show you here in a few minutes just how we sow them or how we plant those seeds. But there is, of course, the head lettuce. But my favorites are the butterhead lettuce, which reminds you of Bibb lettuce, but there's some really cool ones that are getting rather large. There's leaf lettuces, and then there's romaine lettuces. And then if you look at the seed catalogs, there's some that are kind of a mixture of one or two or three different kinds. So anyway, what I want to do is we're going to discuss first some of the lettuces that I'm going to grow. Now, you can grow these indoors in a sunny window, outside, or if not outside, but you can outside. But what you can do is you can grow them indoors under lights, in a sunny window. If it's in a sunny window, every day flip them around, because if not, they always want to go towards the light. But also, you can do these outside. But what the mistake so many people make, and I used to make them all the time, is I would go out in the garden and make my little row, and I'd sprinkle my seed and cover them up, and up would come the lettuce. The only problem is they would not make individual plants. It was like a mass of just leaf lettuce. It'll work that way, but if you want the really big, nice, individual types of lettuce that you're growing, you have to be very careful how you sow them. So anyway, first of all, we're going to be growing different kinds. Like here is a new one I'm growing called Flashy Butter Gem. You notice it's dark green. You notice the red, beautiful red speckles on it. Any of these that are dark and green and especially have red in them are very, very, very healthy for you compared to iceberg. Here's one we're growing that I got from, it's a red, the entire head is red, and it's a leaf lettuce. We're going to be growing that. And of course, and my old favorite, Butter Crunch. You see it makes a loose head, but it's all just buttery and just as sweet as can be, and it makes very big plants. And then I have a couple others here. This is a real big favorite of mine, and we probably showed you last year when we were saving seeds, and I've got some I'm saving as well. This is a packet I had left called Little Gem. It's probably the sweetest, crunchiest, but one of the smallest of romaines. So if you want just an individual salad for yourself, one of those is just perfect. And we're going to grow this type here, and it's called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm going to show it to you there. And it is an ancient form of lettuce that comes from Turkey. And we're going to give that a try. And it's a little more of a wild type of lettuce. So that's what we're growing there. And then also, as I said, I'm kind of obsessed with these things. We're going to be growing romaine red. We're also going to be growing black-seeded Simpson. That's the one a lot of people grow very early. It makes a terrific early lettuce. Probably in 40 days you will be eating it. That makes that really nice. Then we also have a burgundy Boston lettuce, which is a little loose head. And then finally, we're going to be growing red salad bowl, another early type. Now, the nice thing about growing different types of lettuce like this is that they do not all mature at the same time. That's why I grow different kinds. Usually the leaf lettuces will be first, followed by the butterhead lettuces, and finally the romaine lettuces. The other things I do is I succession plant. So every 2 weeks, sow a few new seeds, especially if you're growing them inside, and you will have unlimited lettuce throughout much of the lettuce growing season, which we'll be discussing later in other videos. But the other thing is lettuce does not like it when it gets hot. Some of these lettuces do better. Romaines do better when it finally gets warm. Grow your lettuce. It can grow, it likes full sun, but if you grow it in partial sun and partial shade, it will actually last longer. The heat won't get to it. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to plant a lettuce, and we're going to try this new one, Flashy Butter Gem. And it is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. It is an old heirloom. And we really like heirlooms whenever we can to grow them. Hybrids are not horrible, but always make sure that they're not GMO seed if they are a hybrid. The other side of it is you can't save your seed if you use a hybrid, but these you can save your seed, and we do have a video on saving lettuce seed that you might want to check out. So what I do here with the lettuce is first, of course, the potting mix and everything's nice and moist. And here's a mistake a lot of people make. Lettuce seed likes to have light to germinate. You can see the little seeds. So what I do is I try to just barely cover them. And even if they're not totally covered, they will actually, they will germinate. And what the secret to that is, if you put them on top of the soil and put a slight amount, either have a plastic dome, which like I would have on this, or you can cover it with some cellophane. As soon as it germinates, take it off, because we don't want them to rot. So here we go, or get mold, I should say. So here we go. We're going to plant these, and this is very simple. If you don't have one of these tools, which you can get on Amazon, but you can also use a spoon or something like that. So I'm going to grow 3 of each kind. So here we go. We're just going to put a few seeds, not a lot, because you have to thin them out at some point. So I'm going to put about 5 or 6 seeds in there, and then we'll do it in the next cell. And just tap them in there lightly. And maybe put a little more here. And then what I do is at that point, we'll put the rest of the seed back into the package here. And then what I do is very lightly, either with my tool here or just with my finger, pat it down lightly. All right, now I take a little more of the potting mix, just a little bit more, and just barely cover them. And then we'll use a spray bottle and kind of water them down. And then we will take our label here, do label, or you will forget, I guarantee, unless you're only growing one kind. And this is Flashy Butter Gem. And we write that down there on our little label. We put this here, and then when we get done again, you can cover it with plastic, or I have these domes, which you can find domes that fit these at Amazon or any big box store. And then you wait. Now, lettuce generally will germinate very, very fast. It would not surprise me that if in 4 days we have little lettuce plants coming up. When they get a little bit bigger, where you can grasp them, or you can use little scissors and snip them, that's how I always thin them out. You will have probably from the time that you plant these until probably July, if you plant them where there's a little bit of shade. You'll have lettuce nonstop this way, especially if you succession plant. We're going to plant ours out here probably 1st of April. They'll be up big enough. If you get warm days before that, you can certainly take your flat or take your cell pack and set it outside if it's not too cold, and kind of harden them up. And that's the other thing. And we'll talk about it when we plant them outside. But you must, it's harden them up. If you just put them in the garden, the sun's going to beat on them, the wind's going to beat on them. Set them out where there's shade for a day or two, then kind of move them out where it's not quite as bad as far as wind and sun. And then a couple of days later, they're ready to go into the ground. And you're going to have the luscious salads. We like to mix ours a lot, different types in one salad. And it's very healthy for you, especially if you grow types that are not head lettuce. So I hope this helps you in getting started on some lettuce seed. Lettuce can be started in a sunny window, for sure. We will plant ours. We happen to have a bunch of 5-gallon buckets because I grow tomatoes and mini tomatoes and dwarf tomatoes. So we have extras. So we just plant ours in a 5-gallon bucket. You don't need a 5-gallon bucket. You could get a regular bucket. You can probably put 4 plants in one like that, or 5-gallon buckets. We put 5 of them in. When they come ready to go, you whack them off, or you pull them out if you want, or you can cut them off. Some they'll continue to come back up with more, but they'll never be as nice as the original head. We usually just plug in a new plant and away you go. So you don't need a big garden. You don't need a bunch of raised bed gardens. All that you need is a place that you can set a bucket, fill it with potting mix, and put them out there. We like to have ours right outside the door. So if we say, hey, we're going to have salad, we go out there and we pick our salad, the lettuce we want, maybe some of the herbs that you want to put in there. I grow actually green onions, so onions that are scallions that you plant, and they come up, pick a few of them right outside the door. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you. Again, if I'm Grandpa Jim. To all of you in my group, if you have questions or you say, well, what about this variety, or what about this kind of lettuce, or any other vegetable questions you have, I will try to answer them. Now, I'm not coming to you as a scientist or a botanist. I'm trying to show you how I, as just a regular guy, have grown my vegetables and will be growing my vegetables, and maybe perhaps even some fruits. So anyway, but there's many ways of doing things. These work for me. So that's why I'm sharing them with you. We try to do things as economically as we can, and also as easy as you can. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, please, by all means, contact me. And we'll be looking forward to more videos that you can learn how to garden. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.